If you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom, RexMD is here to make that change. They are offering you the best deal they've ever offered. 90% off and $2 per dosage at rexmd.com/chat. They got starter packs of generic Viagra and Cialis. We'll tell you more about them later on in today's Cowboys, where we got some rumors to get into. We begin, it's 2 straight time is a flat circle rumors, beginning with Aaron Rodgers. It's the fake news on this one. We'll explain why. There's some real problems, and hopefully the last time we have the conversation because he gets dealt at some point soon. But Larry Fitzgerald, who I love, said the Cowboys and Aaron Rodgers are a logical destination and fit and whatever because, they're a good team and he gets to go right back with Mike McCarthy. And for the reasons why it's a good fit, it's also why things aren't that great in terms of the situation and just the straight-up likelihood of the outcome. So first, let's just look at the quarterback situation because that's a more entertaining standpoint. Their numbers this year, now remembering that, of course, Dak Prescott missed time, this is going to be weird to hear out loud, but Dak was more accurate, had a better passing average, more touchdowns per game, of course, also more interceptions. For this year only, because neither guy had their best season. That was the reality of the situation, that neither quarterback has had their best individual results, what we've seen in the past. Both guys are still in that top 10 conversation range. And if it were even for a year, I think you can make a real argument for Aaron Rodgers. If it was for the rest of their careers, you're banking on Rodgers winning you a title in 2 years. And that's a problem when you get to the money. The issues with this trade, first and foremost, is Dak Prescott's contract. The hypothetical idea here is you're shipping off Dak Prescott and going to get Aaron Rodgers in the process. So let's break down the Dak contract here. The current cap, it's $49 million. I don't want to do that. But if you're making the trade now to actually get Rodgers up to speed, because you're not going to let Dak sit at $49 million and then not be able to spend in free agency and be stuck with that contract there, you actually lose almost $9 million. So now you're looking at, okay, we're paying Dak Prescott in the range of $56 million to not be our quarterback. Well, what are we paying Rodgers? Well, that's also a problem when factoring that. It's actually very cheap short term. It's about $16 million this year. The problem is, unless he chooses to take a pay cut for you, his option bonus for 2025 is $58 million. So ignoring the future money, you're paying your quarterback you're starting to approach $70 million. We'll call it a nice even $65 million, or I guess that's an odd number, to invest at quarterback. That'd be the largest quarterback investment for a single season ever. You are also putting a bunch of dead money into the future, even more so than you currently have with Dak, for a 2-year window-ish with a head coach and quarterback who parted ways like 5 years ago. The Mike McCarthy presence is not a positive thing for the Aaron Rodgers trade. That didn't work at the end last time. They wanted that divorce. So now we're right back there and thinking it's going to work. I don't understand it from that perspective. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. And I'm confused why it keeps getting brought up. I think it's just because it's the Cowboys. Now, if you didn't have Dak, if you were looking at Cooper Rush and Will Grier, different conversation. But right now, I just don't get it. What do you think, though? I'm happy to have differences of opinion here on the Cowboys Report. That's what makes America great. Do you want Rodgers on the Cowboys? Y for yes, N for no in the comment section. It's the pinned comment, by the way, on today's video. What'd I say? Time's a flat circle, right? How about Odell Beckham again to the Cowboys? I'll hover at 2 stars. You got to 3 at one point, and then the medicals came back of he can't play right now, which was a big-time problem there. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones have left the door open to signing Odell Beckham in free agency. Teams are still waiting to see if he's actually healthy. Can he contribute? Can he play right now? And as we're going to think the contract is a problem here, reports of he wants the Michael Gallup deal. Maybe 2 years, 26 gets it done. Maybe he wants $20 million. Well, it's an awful lot of money to pay for a guy who I don't know how healthy he really is. We'll come back to this more in depth, but first, a word from today's sponsor, RexMD. If you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom, had those nights where maybe get a little too nervous, had too much to drink, there's nothing worse than not being able to put the stick shift in drive when you need it most. But have no fear, RexMD is here, spreading cheer even when you've had a few too many beers. RexMD is FDA approved and the most trusted leader in men's telehealth. They've sponsored today's Cowboys Report to help you always be prepared. RexMD has made it simple, easy, and cost-effective to help all the men out there last longer and feel more confident in the bedroom. RexMD makes getting generic and branded Viagra or Cialis easy. Everything's online, even the prescription. They deliver it discreetly to your door. No more waiting rooms, no embarrassment to the doctors, no insurance and copays. Take advantage of the best deal they've ever offered. Save up to 90% off. Pay $2 per dosage with our exclusive link. It's rexmd.com/chat. Go to rexmd.com/chat for this limited time deal. Starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available for our watchers. That's rexmd.com/chat for up to 90% off. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Wide receiver in general is a significant difference. Significant issue. You've got Lamb, who I love. Michael Gallup did not look like himself this past season. Noah Brown is probably more of a wide receiver 4. T.Y. Hilton had the great catch against Philadelphia and then not a whole lot from that standpoint. Now, maybe Jalen Tolbert steps up. If you're promising me good Odell Beckham, I have interest. But he's coming off another knee injury. He wasn't prepared to play this past year. And you're assuming he's going to be great again? I think there's going to be a very big difference in what teams are prepared to give Odell Beckham versus what Odell Beckham wants in free agency. So do you want to sign, let's say it's 2 years, $26 million, $13 million or so per year. What do you want? OBJ for yes, NOBJ for no. Some more wide receiver conversation here. Again, it's kind of I guess all four to an extent, a time as a flat circle. We did this last year, signing Juju Smith-Schuster. I'll give it 1 star. And you could argue it's 2. I am not as on board this idea or the one coming up after it. Blog and the boys mentioned it. And look, these two sides have flirted before. Draft time, free agency time. Juju and Dak seem to get along decently well there. The contract that was mentioned was, I rounded down to $14.3 million. That's the Spotrac free agent market value. We're trying to pay Juju Smith-Schuster $14.3 million per year? We're giving him more than Gallup does? I don't like this idea. Not because I don't think Smith's a bad player, but that's too much money for me. Juju this past year for KC, the touchdown numbers were low, but he put up 78 catches for 933 yards. Almost a 1,000-yard campaign out of Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, he's banged up in 2021, missed time in 2019 as well, under 1,000 yards in 2020. As we'll get into, my big problem is less to do with Juju the player and more with Juju the fit, especially at $14 million. Before we get to my thoughts on that, in general, I want to sign a free agent wide receiver. Plenty of names out there, if not the sexiest options. Who do you want the Cowboys to sign in free agency? Let me know in the comments section right now. The reason why I gave it 1 star, he's a good football player. Don't get me wrong, this is not anti-Juju propaganda here. But his play style is not what Dallas needs, especially at over $14 million, hypothetically, per year. I do not need another 4-5 wide receiver who spends lots of time in the slot. That's not what this team needs. Juju is not an elite separator. He's a nice possession receiver, a reliable one. I don't think you're getting prime Steelers Juju at this point when he's playing alongside Antonio Brown. I need speed. I need playmaking. I need route separation. I don't think that's Juju's game anymore, or if it even ever was. So, player, that's not the route I'm looking for right now at wide receiver. If you're signing a receiver and he's not fast, he better be a great route runner. That's not who Juju is, even though he's a good player. Now, if you want to be a fantastic and supportive Cowboys fan, subscribe for free youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Free videos every single day right here, if not multiple times per day, on the Cowboys Report. We're really going full circle, times a flat circle. How about bringing back Randall Cobb? 4 stars, 0 stars. It's a different rumor meter designation. Thanks. I hate it. Horrible idea. Not to be mean to Blogging the Boys. This is a bad idea. Now, I get it. Randall Cobb's best year in 2018 was with the Dallas Cowboys. His best year in a very long time, quite frankly. He played under Mike McCarthy for several years, but he's not good anymore. If you're not producing with Rodgers anymore and you are consistently missing time, why am I signing you? What is the benefit of putting Randall Cobb, a slot-only receiver, on this team when you clearly want to utilize CeeDee Lamb plenty in the slot? I hate this idea. It doesn't make this team any better. It's just, well, he played for the Cowboys once, Cowboys legend, and he knows Mike McCarthy. Look, he's had one good year in the last 7. That is it. He has not been a good receiver. He can't stay healthy. He's not productive. He's a slot only. Why do I want an old slot receiver who doesn't bring me speed? That does not help me at all. You'd be better off just re-signing T.Y. Hilton, which I'm open to, than adding Randall Cobb to this rush. It does not benefit Dallas in any capacity. I would hate that signing. Go get an actual impactful receiver, not the shell of one from 7 years ago at this point.